It began on a quiet November evening in 1889, the kind of cold that turned every breath into a ghost. In the small English town of Brackenford, nestled between the moors and the sea, life moved at a gentle, predictable rhythm. But that night, that rhythm broke. She was last seen just after 9, walking home from the telegraph office where she worked, a lantern in her hand, her shawl wrapped tight around her shoulders. Her name was Clara Whitmore, 25 years old, known for her kindness, her soft laugh, and the letters she wrote for people who couldn't write their own. But somewhere between the glow of the post office and the door of her family's small stone cottage, she vanished. The townsfolk searched the roads, the river, the moors. No footprints, no escrime, no trace, just the echo of a life that had simply stopped. And then, 1 week later, a letter arrived, addressed in Clara's handwriting, stamped and dated the night she disappeared. But it wasn't the words inside that chilled everyone who read it. It was what those words revealed. Clara Whitmore had lived all her life in Brackenford. She was the daughter of a schoolmaster and a seamstress, the kind of family that lived quietly and kept to themselves. She was independent, unusual for women of her time, and took pride in her work at the telegraph office, often walking home alone through the cobblestone streets after dark. Her father, Samuel Whitmore, was a stoic man, but when Clara didn't come home that night, he walked to the constable's office barefoot in the frost. Constable Edwin Harrow, a young officer still earning his place in the town, initially dismissed his worry. "Perhaps she stayed with friends," he said. But Samuel shook his head. "Clara always comes home." By dawn, the entire village was searching. Farmers, shopkeepers, even the parish priest. Dogs were brought to the telegraph road, but they lost the scent by the old stone bridge, half a mile from town. That was where Clara's lantern was found, its glass cracked, its flame long extinguished. The disappearance consumed Brackenford. Rumors spread faster than the morning fog. Some said she'd eloped. Others whispered of foul play. The moor beyond the town, vast, dark, and unending, became the focus of the search. Then came the letter. It arrived at the Whitmore home, sealed and postmarked the same night she vanished. Her father opened it with trembling hands. It read, "Father, I must leave at once. Please forgive me. You will not understand now, but it is safer this way. I love you. Clara." It was unmistakably her handwriting. The tone was calm, deliberate, but something about it was wrong. She never called him father. She always signed her letters with a flourish CW, not her full name. And the ink, it wasn't from the telegraph office. It was from red writing ink, the kind sold only at Hargreaves and Sons, the stationers on the other side of town. When Constable Harrow examined the letter, he found a faint smudge, a fingerprint, though the term was not yet commonly used in investigations. He sent it to Scotland Yard by train, one of the first times such evidence had ever been requested in Brackenford. The investigation turned to Thomas Alden, a local postman who often worked the same route Clara took home. He was known to linger near the telegraph office. Bringing her flowers, she politely refused. When questioned, Alden admitted he'd seen her that night. "Just for a moment," he said, but swore she was alone when she left. He was nervous, fidgeting, his hands shaking. The constable searched his cottage and found something odd, a half-burned scrap of parchment, the edges blackened, but a few letters still legible. "Love you, Clara." It matched the handwriting in the letter. Alden was arrested. The town breathed a sigh of relief. But something didn't fit. The red ink, the one from Hargreaves and Sons, was never found in his home. And the shopkeeper swore Alden had never once bought supplies from him. 2 weeks after Alden's arrest, a second letter arrived. This one was addressed not to the Whitmores, but to Constable Harrow himself. It read, "You think you've caught me, but you haven't. The girl isn't where you think. You're looking for a body, but she isn't dead. Not yet." The letter was written in the same hand as the first, Clara's. And this time, there was no postmark. It had been slipped under the station door sometime during the night. Panic rippled through the town again. If Clara was alive, where was she? And who was sending these letters? Constable Harrow ordered Alden released, citing lack of evidence. He was humiliated publicly, branded a fool, and fled Brackenford within the week. But the question lingered. If not Alden, then who? Desperate, Harrow retraced Clara's final route one more time, past the telegraph office, down the narrow cobblestone path, into the stone bridge. The winter rains had swollen the river below, and the current was fierce. But near the edge of the bridge, he noticed something strange, an iron ring half buried in the mud, with a frayed length of rope attached. He followed it down to the riverbank, where the ground gave way beneath him. And there, hidden by reeds and stones, was a leather satchel, soaked through but intact. Inside were telegraph receipts, a broken watch, and a stack of unsent letters, all written in Clara's hand. But one stood out. It read, "If anything happens to me, it will be because of him. Tell them to look near the bridge." The ink was the same red used in the letter to her father. The investigation exploded once more. The press descended on Brackenford, calling it the letter case. Scotland Yard dispatched a new investigator, Inspector Felix Grant, a meticulous, calculating man with little patience for superstition. He believed the case was not random at all. He believed Clara had uncovered something dangerous, a secret that someone in Brackenford wanted buried. Because when he re-examined the satchel, he found one final clue, a telegram addressed to the telegraph office, dated the very morning of her disappearance. It bore no sender's name. It read, "Deliver the message," or "I will." And the signature at the bottom wasn't Clara's. It was S.W. Whitmore, her father, the man who first reported her missing. Was Clara's father hiding the truth all along? Or had someone used his name to conceal their crime? The answer would lie buried in the cold waters beneath the bridge, waiting to resurface 15 years later. This is Trace Crime Files. Subscribe for part 2, where the letter that started it all finally reveals what really happened that night. This was Trace Crime Files. Subscribe for more stories where truth is stranger than fiction, and justice is never as simple as it seems.